I don't know about you, but every now and again, if I get the chance, I like to take my lunch hour and actually fish instead of eat. That's right. Every now and again, I will actually sacrifice a meal to catch fish. That is because I love fishing. And quite frankly, over the last month, I really haven't had that many chances to fish. So today I was like, you know what? I'm going out on my lunch hour. We're going to try to catch some fish. I've got 1 hour. I'm using a little micro drop shot on an ultralight. Let's just see what we can make bite. You know, the water temperature is really low. Don't know what to expect, but I know one thing, we're gonna give it our all. Let's get started. So I've just got a Mule Minnow 3.2 in the cowpoke color rigged up on a little micro drop shot. It's a little 1/8 ounce tungsten drop shot weight, and I've only got about a 5-inch leader. It's a really short one, so I'm just gonna keep it really close to the bottom. As I said, it's an ultralight rod and reel. This is the Shimano Sedona 1000, rigged up on the Dobbins Sierra trout and panfish. And we're just gonna see what we can make bite. I trust that we're gonna catch at least a couple fish, and I'm really thinking the likelihood is probably yellow perch. The last month has just been kind of busy, and I just really haven't had that many chances to fish, so I'm really happy that I've got this hour today. This water is gonna be frozen probably within a week or two. It's actually already had a layer of ice on it at least once or twice, but you know, because the weather's been kind of inconsistent, a little bit of warm, a little bit of cold, you know, right now it's thawed out. But my guess is this is gonna be totally froze over here within the next couple weeks, and then we'll be ice fishing. Now, full disclosure, the reason I came out today is because I actually was able to make a few casts yesterday, and I caught 1 yellow perch, and I had a couple more little short strikes. So I know there's some fish around. The question is, are they willing to bite today? I don't know. The wind is picking up a little bit. That might actually help things. I feel like the wind is at least blowing the right direction. There we go. Oh, I pulled it out of his mouth. It was probably a small yellow perch that was just holding onto the tail. I feel like the fish should be in the same general vicinity, so I'm just gonna go ahead and reel in and cast it back out there. Good, good, good. Okay, we only had a bite. That's good. I'm definitely thinking I might need to switch down to a Mule Minnow 2.2. I think this 3.2 Mule Minnow might just be a little intimidating to these fish. There's a bite. Got him. There we go. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That's what we're after, my friends. That's a freaking donkey. Yeah, that's what I was hoping to catch right there. That's awesome. That's a really high quality yellow perch right there. It's a beauty. Definitely not my biggest yellow perch ever, but man, that's a pretty fish. Look at that orange. And these fish right here, the reason I'm using this drop shot, you can clearly see this fish is basically like built to be a little bit more of a bottom oriented fish. You know, it's almost like a small walleye. Really cool fish, and that drop shot got him. I might make a cast or two with this Mule Minnow 3.2, but there's definitely still a chance that I'm gonna switch down in profile. I think that they seem to be kind of short striking this, but I'll make a couple more casts, and if it keeps working, great. If not, I can always switch. No matter what, we're not skunked. Man, that's a beauty. All right, see you, buddy. Feels good to catch a fish, man. I just have not been catching many fish lately. Life has just been a little busy, and that's totally okay. I don't mind taking short breaks from fishing, but I've been kind of craving some fishing time, so I'm happy as heck to be out here. I don't really know how the bottom lays out here. Pretty sure it drops off though. This is just a small little inland lake that I have access to. I'm fishing off of a little dock, and I've got just a little small stretch of bank that I can fish. Cold day, still catching fish. There's a bite. Oh, pulled it away from him. Yeah, I definitely think swapping down to a little bit smaller profile might be the play. My gut tells me that the white Mule Minnow 2.2 is the way to go, so that's what I'm gonna go with. Now, when it comes to rigging these Mule Minnows on a drop shot, you can either do it flat or you can do it vertical. Doesn't really matter too much. I'm gonna do this one vertical to just try to get their attention a little bit more, but the flat gives it a really nice action as well. It almost looks like a leech. And there you have it, just nose hooking that. And I feel like they're gonna be able to see that from quite a ways away. And that white should really pop in these overcast conditions. I'm actually gonna take it a step further, and I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of this Pro Cure on the side, and that'll just give it a little bit of stink factor. And I figure in this cold water, can't hurt. I don't know exactly what scent does. I don't know if it really makes a huge difference or not, but I find that in cold water, it gives me just a little bit more confidence, and that's important to me. The Pro Cure seems to react extremely well with my plastics. It seems to really stay on there good. So that's been kind of one of my favorites, and my buddy Ramon actually sent me those, and he recommended them, so I got to give him credit. First cast. So thank you, Ramon. I don't know if the Pro Cure made a difference, or the white made a difference, or a little bit of both, but I made one cast with this Mule Minnow 2.2, and got another little yellow perch, and that's what I'm talking about. I think I was getting some short strikes from fish about this size. Now obviously that 3.2 caught a little bit larger fish, but I mean, first cast on this thing, that gives me high confidence that we're going to be able to make a few more bite. Not a giant by any means, but a beautiful fish, and I will take anything I can get in a 1 hour stretch of time. See you, buddy. I paired that braid back up with this Dobbins, and I've got such a sensitive setup now. Oh yeah, I'm getting some nibbles. Oh yeah, there he is. Oh, that's a good one. That feels like a good one. Feels like it's got some weight. Doesn't know what it wants to do. What is it doing? Now he's kind of coming towards me. The second that he realizes, what is he gonna do? What is he gonna do? Oh yeah, good one. These perch can be kind of funny. Sometimes they fight really hard, other times they're a little bit more basic, but that fish right there is a beauty, so I'm not gonna complain one bit. He didn't fight super hard, but he's a beauty, man. Little micro drop shot, put it to use. Like I said, I'm just using a really short leader. Usually I like a little bit longer leader with drop shots, but I figure these yellow perch are gonna be pretty bottom oriented, so I just wanna keep that down there right off the bottom. And so far it's working. No complaints. This is just like a little owner mosquito hook. Can't remember what size it is, really small, but I'll link those in the description below if you wanna go check them out. They work quite well with ultralight tackle. I paired that Spro Finesse braid back up with that Dobbins Sierra, and there was a while there where I was kind of scared to use braid on this rod because I was nervous it would wrap around the rod tip and break it. But this Spro is really high quality stuff, and I find it has very little memory, so it doesn't really wrap the rod tip so bad. So I'm not super concerned about it. I feel like it's gonna just continue to work really well. And the braid paired with this rod, it's just hypersensitive, so I've been feeling those bites really good. Really what I've been doing is I cast it out there, I let it get down to the bottom, and then I just try to maintain like a, you know, a pretty taut line. There's a bite right there. He's thumping it. Got him. Oh yeah, that actually feels pretty good. He nipped at it like 2 or 3 times, but I was able to detect that easily because I just maintained that pretty taut line. Yeah, it's not that big of a fish, but man, he felt big there for a second. Another little, I don't know, 8-inch yellow perch. Pretty small, but I'll take him. There you go. Drop shot's working well, man. I dig it. I've been meaning to throw the micro drop shot more this year, and I just haven't really done it. But it comes in handy when the water's this cold. See you, buddy. As far as how I work a drop shot, the big thing to remember is really just bottom contact. You know, this is a bottom bouncing bait. And so today, because the water's really cold, the fish are pretty slow, I'm going to really slow down. But the beauty of this rig is I'm going to maintain bottom contact the entire time. So, cast it out there, cast it way out there, and then I just let that line sink. And you can easily see when your line hits the bottom because all of a sudden your line just kind of goes slack. And so now that it's gone slack, I'm just gonna pick up that slack line and I'm just gonna try to maintain a little bit more taut line. And then I'm just gonna kind of keep my rod tip at an angle to where if something bites it, I'm gonna feel that easily because that line is gonna send vibrations right down my rod tip. So then it's pretty simple. I'm just kind of slowly picking it up, bouncing it a little bit, or dragging it a little bit and just kind of pulling it across the bottom. And that entire time I can just feel that little 1/8 ounce tungsten drop shot weight just kind of bottom bouncing. Every now and again you'll see I'm kind of popping it a little bit, and that's just to kind of work my drop shot weight over some grass or some rocks. And it's a pretty simple retrieve. And really my big thing is sometimes I get a little bit ahead of myself. There's a bite right there. Sometimes I get a little bit ahead of myself and I start working it too fast, but really most of the bites I've gotten have been when I'm working it pretty dang slow, or even just letting it sit there. You know, there's yellow perch down there, and I need to remember that they're down there. My bait's probably in front of them. I just need to slow down and let them come in and eat it. There's a bite. Got him. I could tell he had that. These yellow perch are funny little fish, man. You see that Dobbins, it doesn't hardly bend, but it's a perfect rod for this little drop shot. Works well. You can really feel everything. There it is. That's a beauty right there. Man, I love that color. I just love that yellow color they have. I love especially that fin on the bottom. It gets super vibrant orange. Just a beautiful fish. Beautiful species of fish. They group up. They're a blast on ultralight. What's not to love about a little bit of yellow perch? All right, see ya, buddy. He really wants to go home. The micro drop shot is definitely, oh yeah. This really should be a bank fisherman's best friend because I can really cast it so far. So I've been able to cover a lot more water than a lot of ultralight lures can do. That's a nice one. Oh yeah. That's a beauty. Another really bright orange finned fish. There you go, buddy. Seems like the fins are even brighter orange when the water temp is lower. Look at that. I mean, come on. Come on. Oh, he wriggled free. I'm gonna make an executive decision. I'm gonna catch one more fish and we're gonna call it a trip. Of course, this last fish is gonna be a pain in the butt to catch. This is what I get for saying I want to catch one more fish. There he is. There we go. Just as soon as I start talking about it. Of course, we're going to end the day with a dink, but you know what? That's okay. That's okay. I should probably get back to work. But this was a wonderful, wonderful lunch hour. Lunch break full of little yellow perch. Can't beat it, man. Can't beat it. All right, little micro drop shot, my friends. I'm telling you, if you never throw a micro drop shot, this is the time of year where you can definitely get some payoff by throwing it. Not only does it allow you to cover a lot of water from bank, but it also gets down there quick and it puts your bait in the strike zone, and you're able to just kind of maintain that bottom contact and really target bottom oriented fish. You know, whether that's yellow perch or some small juvenile bass or this, that, or the other thing, doesn't really matter. I definitely think a drop shot is something you gotta have in your arsenal when it comes to ultralight multi-species fishing.